Welcome to the presentation, Beginner Interactive Slides. I'm going to show this next screen. Here's the bit.ly. I'll just leave this on for a little bit of time so that you can see it. That will give you access to this presentation. The objectives of today are to first learn how to create interactive slides, and we're going to go over that basic interactivity. And then I may throw in some little next step levels. The reason why you want to do this is to increase that student engagement in your classroom. That's going to help create that independence, and you're going to know their thinking, so it's a formative tool as well. The next, the next 6 slides, I'm going to kind of go over some different interactions that are taking place in slides. At the beginning of most slides, I will have directions, and this really depends on the needs of the learners in my classroom. If I have some low readers in the classroom, I'm going to make a video that's going to explain step by step what students have to do. If students are like in the middle range, I may insert an audio and just leave it at that. And then for my high learners, I'm just going to use text so that they can read that text. But then again, if I have something challenging and I know that's might cause some confusion amongst my learners, then I'm going to opt for that Screencastify video, and that's free for JCPS individuals. So this is an example. I inserted a TV in the background, and all this is a video that I've inserted, and it looks like a TV, and students would click this, and when they click this, I'll turn up the volume. That didn't work.
Next, you're going to read the directions. I will drag the correct punctuation at the end of a sentence to match the picture. Here is one of the slides. If you click up here, this is a cat. It will read the sentence. You click right here and play it. Find the period mark. It will tell you to find the punctuation. Down here it says drag the correct punctuation to the sentence so it makes sense. So I forgot what it was, so I'm going to listen to it again. Find the period mark. So I'm going to look over here. I find that period mark. And I'm going to drag it and put it in here. And then I'm going to go to the next slide. Enjoy your work today.
So this slide would have been at the beginning of and it loops. It actually loops. So it's at the beginning of an interactive work that I would have the students do. This next one just kind of shows you, this is a drag and drop interactive slide. So the student would read independently, and then they would read that answer, and they would pick the correct choice by dragging that red circle. And then at the bottom, here's a text box, and they would write this word cookie. You can see it. It's very faint, but nonetheless, in this space, they would type cookie. And that would be, and I may have 5 or 6 pages of this. My next slide is also a drag and drop. In the background, notice I can't move it. I created this in a different piece, and then I snipped it, and then it became my background item. And here they would match the number to the quantity, and they would drag those items over. This one is also a drag and drop. Notice I, as a learner, can't move any of this, and I'm reading this. What do you eat and wear in the summer season? Color them, but they're not coloring them. What they're doing is they're dragging over a red dot to indicate which one. Drag the dots over the summer things you eat or wear. And notice down below in the speaker notes, I also put those directions. This slide is very similar to this at the beginning, but this is really this right here is explaining the process, how to complete it. And this is actually one of the slides. So,
see the bird. See the bird.
And then if a student clicks here,
find the exclamation point.
And so draw the correct punctuation to the sentence so it makes sense. Now, this next slide right here, I like it because it has instructions as well as they are off to the side in its own text box. That would be for a high level reader, right? Because they can read those on their own. This right here is movable. So it is not an interactive text. A child could click on it and make it disappear. So this is the difference between an image that's like floating on top of a slide as opposed to an image being forced in the background. So we're going to actually do this process. So step 1, new tab, find a worksheet that you want. You can go to Teacher Pay Teacher and search for free worksheets, or you can click on this link right here and it will take you to slide 22. And I've listed several sites here in which you can find worksheets. When you get worksheets, you want worksheets that are PDF. Those are going to be the most accessible to you. So let's go back to our presentation. Oops, sorry. Let's go back to the interactive slide. So I have this worksheet that I found on one of those sites. Okay, so I'm going to scroll back up here because I'm at step 2. New tab, open up a new Google slide presentation. So I'm going to go to that waffle and I'm going to choose slides. And I have a slide that is open right here. So the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to drag. When I drag all the way down, I collect those 2 text boxes and I just delete those and just get myself ready. So I'm going to step 3. In step 3, create a title for the slide presentation. Well, that slide presentation, the title is going to be the title of this worksheet right here. So beginning sound. So I'm going to go back to the my quote unquote presentation was going to be my interaction. And I'm going to type beginning sounds. And I always put the date, May 11th, or I'll go Monday, May 11th. So, okay. And that's going to help me organize when I put all that information into into my Google Classroom. So I'm going to come back out here and I'm ready for step 4. Step 4 has me changing the dimensions of that slide and the slides that cascade from slide 1. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to File, then I'm scroll down to the Page Setup box. Then it's going to open up to widescreen 6.9. You're going to have this little triangle, upside down triangle, and you're going to click it. You're going to scroll to and choose custom, the word custom. Then you're going to change the dimensions, 8.5 by 11, just like a piece of paper that you would take off the shelf at school. So here I'm going to do that. File, Page Setup is way at the bottom. Widescreen, I'm going to click that little triangle, hit custom, and I'm going to change those dimensions, 8.5 by 11, and then I'm going to hit apply. Sometimes I can do 9 by 11. It just really matters. But what I'm going to do is I am going to change the dimensions of that quote unquote slide presentation. So I'm going to come back here. I've done step 4 and I'm going to roll into step 5. Step 5 has me inserting other slides. The first slide, create a slide for the student to type their name. Second slide, create a slide for the I will statement. And then the third, it's not really a slide. It could be a slide. It might not be a slide. But the third component is to create a slide with directions or insert that Screencastify to show how to complete it or insert audio directions. Now, I'm going to go back to my slide and I'm going to just Control M is a new slide. So I'm going to get those 3 slides in there. I'm going to come up to this top one. I'm going to put that text box in there. I'm going to make my font huge. And I'm going to make that font red. And I'm going to type your name here. These are directions telling the student when they enter, because they're going to be in edit mode, and they can type and put their name here. So on this next slide, I'm going to put the I will. I will identify the beginning sounds for each word. Okay. Now, down below here is where I'm going to model that. And this is where I would insert. I make a text box and I go to insert and see this video. Well, when I did my Screencastify, if I did a Screencastify, I can save it and upload it to YouTube. I get that video, I go to insert in this video, and I would put that share and do a search and find it and upload that video. It's really, really simple. Now, if I don't want to go that route, I could do, I could insert an audio file. That's another way, right? So when we think about the needs of our learners. So when I insert those audio files, and this is working on a Chromebook, it's so easy. But if I was working on my desktop computer, I'd create a file on my desktop called sounds. That way I can access them, and I would upload them into my drive. And in my drive, I'd also have a folder. So I'm going to kind of explain that process to you. So if you go back to the presentation, insert audio directions, and you click that, it's going to take you down to this file. And right here is also a video that will explain the steps that I'm going to do. And there's 2 audio programs that you can choose. I like this little robot looking one. It's called Vocaroo. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to that beginning sounds, and I'm going to go and get that Vocaroo. I'm going to activate that. And here comes this red button. So I'm going to click this red button by reading what's on the slide. I will identify the beginning sounds for each word. I will identify the beginning sounds of each word. Notice I hit that red button. That's going to stop it. And it's processing. And it's making an MP3 file for you. So now I can listen to it. I will identify the beginning sounds of each word. Okay. So then I'm going to save and share it, quote unquote. And I'm going to download it. Now, when I download it, notice here that I can go directly into my Google Drive. Now, at this point, I'm going to name it Beginning Sound Directions, May 11th. I'm going to give it something so I can find it. And I'm going to go to that. And then in this my drive is where I'm going to create that new folder, Sounds for May 11. And I'm going to double click to get into that folder, and I'm going to save that file there. Okay, and I can go and see it in that folder. And here it is in that folder. Now, when I'm in that drive and I have, just like I have to share my interactive slides, I have to share those sound bites, and that's a little clencher. So what I like to do, share with others, just like I would do a slide. If you don't do this step, then you're going to get dings or um, a bunch of email responses coming to you. So I'm going to go to advanced. And right now it says private only, I can access. I'm going to change that. I'm going to say on anyone with the link, anyone who has access the link, no sign in required. I'm going to put view, and then I'm going to hit save. I have to do this, and I'm just double checking here. I'm just going to prevent editors from changing access or adding new people, and I'm going to save those changes. And then I'm going to hit done.
I will identify the beginning sounds of each word.
Okay, so I can X out of this, and I can go back. Notice I just kind of leave that grew up. If I wanted to make another one, I'd hit that roundabout and it would start another one again. And notice it's recording what I'm saying right now. And then I would save that whole process over again. So I'm going to go back into that slide because I have an audio. So I go to insert, then audio. Now, because I did it was really recent, here it is. And I've shared it. I'm going to select it. And it comes down in here at the bottom. I like to increase it in size. And then I'll put it right there so that when the student clicks on it,
I will identify the beginning sounds of each word.
That's going to help them access that content. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to kind of play with, I'm going to take a snip of the first section of the worksheet. I usually do this because I'm not going to make a screencastify. And I'm going to now go back to my slide, and I am going to force that image to be a background. So I click on background, choose image. I'm going to upload that into the slide. And it should come up as really current. Here it is, current. Open it. And I'm done. Now it kind of looks kind of funny because this is behind, but no fear. I'll move this up and I'll put a little color in that, and I'll give it a little border, and I'll bring this button up. And then in this box right here, I'll add a text box like this. Up, it went automatic yellow. I'm going to make it white. And I'm going to change that font size for that student to type in. I'm going to change that font color so that they can see that it's cat. Okay. And they could type it on there. Another way that I could attack this is that I could bring this over here, the C, as an answer choice. This would be drag and drop. It wouldn't be typing directly in. And I could change that color in there. And I could make another letter that perhaps they can choose and put a D. And I would drag this C over here so that they could see that they had to choose between the D and the C. Another thing that I might do, because I know the needs of my learners, I'm thinking they may not know the beginning sound. So I'm going to go cat, cat. And then they have to choose which is the K sound. So identify which sound that is. And I would need to create another audio file. But for right now, I'm just going to leave it like this so that they can see. Now, I'm going to go back to the directions, scroll back up here. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find that worksheet, that whole worksheet. I'm going to snip it, create that PNG image, and upload that as a background image. So go back here, and I'm going to get rid of those boxes, and I'm going to drag that down, and notice it grabs both of them. I'm going to delete, and I'm going to go back to that worksheet. I'm going to take a snippet of that whole worksheet. And here I go. Okay. And then I'm going to go to that slide. I'm going to insert that as a background. Find that image. Again, I'm working on a Chromebook, so it's a little easy. Click on that image. Here's that screenshot, open, and done. And notice I cannot move this right here, which is good. So it says snip, upload as a background image. I just did that. Step 7, create text boxes in the answer areas and use red font. I'm going to go back here. And this one, because I had this, let's say it was just a text box one. So if it was just a text box one, pretend that these don't exist. I'm just going to put them off to the side and hide them from you. And let's say this was just a text box, completely a text box. And I'm going to make that white in there and change that font to red. And just go directly in there and increase that size. So that's cat. I know it's a funny looking cat, but, and then I would go here, and what I do is I would put text boxes and change that font size, get even bigger, and just put a question mark here. So they would have to go in and put that letter there. And I would now this is where, and I'm just going to copy all 3 of those. And I'm going to copy, then paste that crosshair. Did I get everything? Nope, I didn't. I love doing that. Not. Let's do that again. Okay, I'm just going to drag them down. I'm going to do the same for the other. There, I got all 3. See, right there. And then down here, now I have all those question marks in there. And I've used that red font. In step 8, I'm going to type directions in large font in the speaker note area. So down here, I'm going to type those directions. Again, change that font. I usually do 24. Fill in the missing letters. Okay, so I have step 8. Step 9, I'm going to save and share it. Now, when I save and share it, I'm going to share it so everybody has that link. So I'm going to go to share. And then I'm going to go to advanced. And right now it says private, only I can access. I'm going to change that on anyone with a link. Now this is, you have to change this. It's not just view because they're not just getting the information they're going to be typing on. So they have to have edit, right? So you're going to click edit and then you're going to hit save. And then I prevent editors from changing. I choose this. Or I'm just going to leave it blank for right now because they're little kindergartners. Okay, so here's, now this worksheet. I could add another page. I'm going to go to new slide. And now I'm going to get another worksheet. This is this one. So I'm going to find something that's similar with the beginning sound. Here's worksheet 2. So I get worksheet 2. And I'm going to reduce that size. I'm going to take a snippet. It's really easy when you're on the Chromebook. Here it's gone into image. Go back to that slide. Background. Then I'm going to choose that image. I'm going to upload to browse. Here's my images. Here's that screenshot. I'm going to open that. It's going to come in. And I am going to put those text boxes in. I'm going to change that font. I'm going to make the size a little bit bigger. I'm going to do that question mark. I'm just going to copy those, bring it down. There. And I can go, 3 or 4 deep that way. Now I'm going to go back to the presentation. So I've shared anyone with the link. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my Google Classroom. And I'm going to go to create. And I'm going to create an assignment. Now, this is really important that you follow steps. I'm going to put beginning sounds. May 11th, put that date on there. And usually I put the date. That's how we do it. Now I'm going to go to add. And I'm going to go to my Google Drive to go get that file. Let's try that again. What's really nice, it's going to be recent. Here's beginning sounds. I'm going to add. Now, when I've added, I don't want students to view the file. I want to click this triangle here, and I want to make a copy for each student. It's really important that when you up the slide, because this is editing, so each student will now have this interactive quote-unquote worksheet to work on, but they can't do it individually if you have not made a copy for each student. So that's going to be critical. Just for right now, I'm going to X out. Okay, so going on, some other things that you can do, kind of learn, is on these resource slides. If you want to work with transparent images, just going to go back to beginning slides. And let's say I'm just going to delete some of these slides. And let's say I'm working to add an image. I'll go to Explore. And then I'm going to type in transparent dog. And I'm going to click on images, the word image. That's going to give me some doggies. And I'm just going to select one, opening up that image. I'm going to insert that. And so this dog is not going to have a background. So it just kind of makes the dog look real. And, this would be for another kind of worksheet. Okay. Ooh, I got 2 of them. So I'm just going to get rid of those. And that wouldn't be on this worksheet. That would be if I wanted to insert a transparent image. There's snipping tools right here. If you're in a HP desktop, this is a snipping tool, and this is just a little how to use that snipping tool. And then the Chrome, how to find the snipping tool on the Chrome. And this is a little video explaining how, again, to snip an image, the step-by-step. Here's the shortcuts. Control C is copy and Control V is paste. Here's the little robot, and here's the little video that you can watch that reviews how to insert that audio and share so that everybody has access, can view the audio file. Students cannot create Bitmojis, but you can go to an avatar maker and you can assign that, and they can create their own, avatar, which is similar to a Bitmoji, and they can doppel themselves. That's just really fun. If you wanted to remove the background of a picture and it has some coloring in it and you want it transparent, this is the best site, remove background. Or searching for transparent images on Google, you would go Google Images, then click Images, then find transparent and labeled for reuse. This slide right here of resources is color slide. If you want to change the color of the background, just like I did, this is not a color that I would find up in my paint can. It's a separate color. There's a bunch of slide templates that you can use, which is really fun. Scrapbook free template. It's a really nice little site. And just loading this up, you can go in there and you can, these are for scrapbookers, but those slides in here and those templates are really, really nice. So scrapbook free templates for Google Slides. And now have the Google slide theme, download the PowerPoint theme. And click on here to education, and it's going to show you some really nice templates that are there. There's notebooks and pen, all kinds of goodies on this page I've included. Right here, Google Slides PowerPoint free. That's going to give you some templates. Right here, I've included some templates. Oh, wait, no, these are Jefferson County Public Schools. These are the templates that they've uploaded into their system. So you could use those templates that the county provides. There's some nice ones there. I'm just going to exit out for time purposes. Here's the worksheet sites that you can click. These are PDF already, so that's going to give you some resources. If you click to this next other templates and sites, if you click this site right here, this is a really nice site. It's a literacy coach in the county, and she has the Jan Richardson word work templates that you could use for your interactive slides. So all things literacy. Thank you, Miss Thompson. And there'll be some tabs at the top. It's still loading. But you'll be able to copy those word work templates. Like if we go to Emergent Level AC, and you click there, she's got a Making Words template that's interactive, and a picture sorting, short vowels, A and O, that is also a template. That's really nice resources there. I've given you templates just for Bitmoji. a making word template, letters, if you want to change out your letters. Here's a letter template, sight word template, and here's that Christy one. So your homework, if you want PD credit, you have to create an interactive Google slide presentation. I'd like you to insert the audio. Make sure you share that. I want you to have one worksheet. That's your background. One worksheet as your background. I'm going to change that as background. I want you to use text boxes and make sure your font is red. For just extra credit, you may want to try WordWork. And when you share it with me, make sure that it's view only. Okay, and that concludes today's webinar on beginner interactive slides. Now, my next session, we're going to create drag and drop interactive slides.